Take it from the Ein Woman. Today is first and a total honor that we have 6 voices, 1 mission, how to elevate your life. You will hear from 6 coaches. Welcome to these special episodes. We all met at the ICF New York City Coach Cafe in the summer. You can hear what is happening when you have a virtual coffee meeting with like-minded people. We are here to create exposure for opportunities to share our knowledge and beyond. We are all ready to support your goals and your growth. My name is Suzanne Mueller. I'm your host, and I will lead this conversation.
Regular, get takeout. No. She's looking up a restaurant somewhere far. She doesn't like to go to restaurants within the neighborhood. She wants to go somewhere far to eat something different. So she particularly likes dumplings. She has this thing for dumplings, and she likes Japanese food and all that kind of stuff. Just spending time with my family, my children, my husband, going out to eat with them. I would like to spend more time traveling, but we haven't. But also spending time with my parents when they're in New York. We go over to their house, they're cooking, and there's always a party for some reason. Someone stopped by, let's have a party. There's always some kind of get-together. I enjoy that because we all live within a mile of each other, between my mom's house, my sister, my brother. So hanging out over there and just spending time with family.
Obviously, New York has a very special place in my heart. I also came to New York last century. I call that like many moons ago. But what is important to me is nature. So I always say Central Park is my second home in New York City. It's the green lung. It's to rejuvenate my batteries when I'm there for my clients. Food is certainly something important, but I love all the museums in New York. I'm a fan of modern art and anything that is a little crazy. I love. New York is the best place to be. So now we have heard from 6 different voices, different coaches. I would like to end with, what is your favorite book, maybe a favorite podcast, or something favorite that you would like to share here before we end with this fantastic talk? And also, we want to make sure that all the information of all the coaches will be in the show notes. So whoever you want to contact them directly, or check us out on LinkedIn, on our websites. We're here to support you, your goals, and your growth.
Well, I'm into the Netflix Demon Hunter series, and that soundtrack has been going around and around in my head. But the thing is, the soundtrack that's the most famous one, Golden, it talks about how everyone needs to be themselves to show who they are. And that's a theme that I feel is so important, and it really feels into my coaching as well, because I want people to be who they are, to not to hide behind masks, but to be who they are. And that really helps. Even with the brain to belly, people would be like, how is that related? But it really is related. So I love that song. That soundtrack is always going on in my head. And when I'm walking my dog, I'm always humming that. The other one that I love is I just went to see Demon Slayer, which is another animation. I went to see it IMAX the other day, and I absolutely adored it. It was 2.5 hours, but I cried at the end, and you could tell my enthusiasm for all of this animation and things.
And my recent obsession has been in Criminal Minds, and I started way back in season 1, and I'm literally just started season 16, so I'm almost caught up. The reason I love this show so much, and I've grown to love it, is because of the hope. I don't know if anyone really tunes into Criminal Minds, but periodically they'll talk about the things that they see from these serial killers and horrific things that happen to innocent people. But they always go back to them doing what they do and reminding themselves of how many people they have saved as a result of the work that they do. I'm taking a serious spin on it, but that's truly what it's all about for me. It's the hope that I get out of watching that show. On top of that, there's a character named Penelope who is hilarious and super talented. I love watching her in action too. I will throw in a book. And for anyone who's looking to help reshape themselves, if that's what they're into, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza is one of my favorite books out there, because he really does present the science. It's scientifically possible for us to do that. We have that power. We have that control. I really kind of like felt drawn to that book.
Thank you, Andrew, for sharing that book. I've benefited from this group. You previously recommended many books related to coaching, personal growth. I treasure them. I love reading. I will share about a book I have read recently and really resonates with me. It's called The Secret Piano, From Mao's Labor Camps to Bach's Goldberg Variations. This is a memoir written by Chinese pianist Zhu Xiao-Mei, who was attending the Central Conservatory in Beijing during the Cultural Revolution when music or any kind of creation, art was banned. Music books burned. They were sent away to labor camps, and she just wanted to play the piano. She asked her mom to wrap this gigantic grand piano into something and hid it into a coal train and shipped to where she was. And she practiced secretly. And then finally she came to the US and then went to France, became a pianist and really specialized in this Bach's Goldberg Variations. And she played it for many people, many different audiences, including in prisons. I was really moved by this story, and it gives me such encouragement, the perseverance in such hardship, facing power, but just sticking to her mission, to the belief that she should continue to create and bring joy to people. It's so powerful.
I can't wait to listen to this podcast, especially so I can write down the names of those books because I wasn't able to do it. I don't have a favorite book or a favorite food. When our boys were teenagers, I used to tell them all the time, my favorite meal is the one I didn't cook and the one I didn't pay for. That would crack them up. And what has happened as a result of my physical impairment, I can't really hold a book anymore. So I'll tell two stories. My favorite book, A Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court, Mark Twain. It's truly a timeless classic. The late Mark Twain would bristle at that because he always referred to a classic as something on the bookshelf that no one ever read. It's my favorite book because I mentioned it to my now 34-year-old nephew when he was in the 7th grade, and he read it. And that stayed with me, and I periodically pick it up once every 5 years to reread it. Now, I have discovered, shout out to New York Public Library audiobooks. So while I'm taking my 6,000 steps, I have the audiobook, and I am currently listening to Stolen Focus, the evolution or devolution of our click-it society and what it's done to our focus. I just got to the chapter today, my walk home, about how the research is showing that reading and reading fiction texts builds our empathy.
That was truly like a mic drop, Matthew. Wow. One of my favorite books that I've read recently is Atomic Habits. Usually people read that book in the education world, I guess in the business world as well, but a lot in the education world, they read it as a team, to build their team, to build up their leadership. But I decided I'm going to read it on my own because it's a book that I'm learning, or I've learned from reading it, that all of those habits that I want to get rid of, I could actually make changes with them, but little at a time. Even the habit of knowing that I need to leave the house at a certain time, I have to set myself up from the night before, making sure the clothes, just little things, making little adjustments to make things a little easier. So it's helping me out professionally. It's helping me out socially, as a wife, as a mother, those little habits. And it's also changing my environment. There was a time when I'd come home from work and this shirt was here, this pants was here, this shoe was here in the house, and the kids, oh, you're doing this. And then now I'm just helping people along in my house. Remember, if you put your shoe away And if you do it on a daily basis, we won't have a messy house and we won't have too much to clean up. And it's clearing the space in our home. It's making us able to think better and building up new and better habits and getting rid of the old habits. So Atomic Habits has been life-changing.
I challenge myself to read at least one book a month, and I read Cave in the Snow by Vicki McKenzie. She is a meditator and she spent 7 years alone in the Himalayas. And some people brought her food and she basically said she didn't want to sleep. They showed a picture. She was basically sitting and meditating for 7 years. So this book has a tremendous impact on me on how is it to be so isolated? What do you think? Obviously, meditation is helping us a lot to focus and to also support others. But to read it when she's there alone in the snow had a huge impact. But to summarize, we spent a good quality of 30 minutes together, learning from each other, learning with each other, and just gaining some new insights. So I'm very grateful for whoever came, the 6 voices with one mission to support you, to follow you, to guide you in your growth and with your goals. So thank you so much for taking the time, but also thank you, the listeners, who will really benefit from a great conversation here. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thanks, Suzanne.
Thank you so much.
Take it from the Iron Woman. We have episodes every Monday. Come and join us, learn with others, learn from others. And also Take It from the Iron Woman is the book Global Business Coaching with Sports Parallels. Download it or get it in your local bookstore. And also like this podcast on the platform that you are listening to this episode to. Thank you and see you next time. Bye-bye.